dedicated team is here to guide you through every step, offering personalized services that reflect the cherished memories of your loved one. From traditional funerals to modern celebrations of life, we provide a range of options tailored to your family's wishes. Whether it's a simple service or an elaborate tribute, we ensure every detail is handled with care. Let us help you create a meaningful farewell, honoring the legacy of your loved one. To learn more about our services, call 758-452-2021 Castries, 758-454-9239 Viewfort. Visit us at www.ramballiesfuneral.com. Ramballies Funeral Parlor, where memories are cherished and love is everlasting.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X, and also on DBS Television. Welcome to Hard Drive for another week, another Monday. Today is the 3rd of November. My name is Andre Paul, the co-host of the show, none other than the lovely Kina. Kina, good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre Paul. Good morning to our listeners. Andre already said that. X, YouTube, DBS Television, and shout out to the folks there too, Linda, Tristan, Juanita, and everyone else. Sending you hugs and kisses too. Mwah.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you doing?
I'm well. I had a nice weekend actually.
Me too.
Okay, well, good. So I get we look forward to hearing a little about what happened on the weekend for you.
It all has to do with God.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's cool.
And it's really good too. Yeah.
Okay, and those are the headlines, not the details.
I think there's something different that happens, Andre, when you have accepted, or you working towards accepting or availing yourself to God. Everything that you're going through in life, no matter what it is, and just saying that, you know what, Lord, you're in control and I trust you. And just let him deal with the worries and the pains and everything. And there's something beautiful about getting baptized too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're baptized when you're submerged in that water and you're out of it.
So are we to assume that you're now an official member of the fold?
Yes, I am. Officially. Yes. It's a week now.
Congratulations.
And there's so much. I always laugh, and there's joy and everything. I'm not overly too worried or stressed. But let me tell you, my mind was like new.
Well,
it's like my thoughts and stuff, everything's almost as if I was a kid again. And just this morning, since I got into work, I'm telling Manuela, why am I singing Joy to the World? Like mentally in that thing, I'm in that space. And yesterday when I got up, when I got ready, I just heard in my spirit that grace is a powerful thing. So it's wonderful. I mean, it's a different vibe, Yeah, and I like that.
Well, congratulations. But the thing is, from my experience, this is when you get all the temptations. They're going to be even stronger.
I was told.
And I'm not talking about temptations with fellas and so on. I'm sure you can diss them fellas easily. That's not a problem. But there are other things that the enemy is going to test you with. Yeah.
I know. I was told. And, by God's grace, I'll be ready. We're all human. And we do make mistakes. And I know even then, if I do make mistakes, that God will give me grace. I just need to be honest with him and tell him that I messed up and he's going to forgive me and I can start all over again. But I don't need to make it a habit. I need to work on it.
Because I can tell you, from what I know, especially in the Bible, the Old Testament and so on, God's servants, in fact, both the Old and New, God's servants, including Jesus Christ, they didn't have an easy time at all.
Yeah,
these guys and these women, they had some real great moments, and you can't get away from that. But they also had some very, very serious challenges, and that thing will test your mettle, man. It will test you to see whether your relationship with God is based on what you can get
from him,
yeah,
or whether
or
it's
not necessarily what you can get. That's important, but as well you doing well in life.
In life, yeah.
Because we have this thing as though, like, once you see, we are on God's program, that everything's supposed to go nice and smooth,
Yeah.
right? But if you read the stories about these men and women, they had a rough time. They had
I've
it
said
rough.
Sometimes the Bible is like the manual for our lives, and it's important that even within the Bible, there's so many takeaways that we could go and do a read. Maybe just a scripture in there, maybe just a line or two that can help you in any situation that you're going through. And I think that's what's important for me. And sometimes even when I don't read the Bible, I just have to remember what his word says. It's reassurance for me. And the most important thing is that I'm learning even now. So it's not everyone is going to be in your front row, especially when you're on that journey, and you have to choose wisely, especially in this time. And that in church you have a head, which is the leader, the pastor, and you need to go to him no matter what it is. And I'm happy that I have amazing people in my life that supported my journey when I decided to go down that route. And it's something that I've prayed for quite some time, not being sure of where to go, what to do, the kind of stuff, and I'm happy that God actually answered my prayers and he gave me that place that I was praying to him for.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
my place.
I don't mean to scare you or anything.
You don't
I don't mean to
scare
scare
me.
you, but this is but the good news is that God says all things work together for good
Yeah.
to those who love the Lord. So when you get those trials, and I don't even call it temptations, those trials which they're going to come.
Yeah.
It'll test your metal. I can tell you that, boy. So you just have to know that no matter what comes, I just have to keep doing the right thing. And then now, in the final analysis now, things are going to work out in
You know
your
the
favor.
end part? You said, you know what, I'm not going to scare you. I'm not going to But that last line, oh, thank you so much, Jesus. That you said? Yeah, that's what we have to go back to that part, that no matter what happens,
Yeah. To those who love
to love
the Lord,
right.
those who love the Lord. This morning I was talking about loving God says he loves a cheerful giver,
Yeah.
right? He loves a cheerful giver. And that's all part of the Christian journey, right? Being not, I wouldn't say being nice, but loving people, loving your neighbor and loving your enemies. When I say loving your enemies, I don't mean you got to be chummy with them, but they're your enemies, and you have no, according to the Christian faith, you don't have a right to hate them. And I can tell you sometimes, when I look at the behavior of some people, okay, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to want to allow myself to hate those people, right? It just drives me up the wall, and
Yeah,
I have
I
to
know the
remember
feeling.
and say to myself, I am not. It is forbidden for me to hate anyone. I have to remind myself of that.
Yeah, and reminding yourself of it is what's important, because even then too, you will have friends or family members or just acquaintances that would say, but that person did that to you and da 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 da. Why can't you? Me, I ain't talking to that person. But at the end of the day, you have to go back to the root. What did the Bible say? I'm not gonna hate you because you wronged me. I might not dislike that behavior. You can work on the behavior, but the same way God gives me grace, even in my mistakes, I could give you grace because God continues and continues to forgive us every time we falter. And then there's that human side. We will get angry, we will get hurt, but just imagine what that hurt does to you and that pain. Sometimes you carry on with that for years and it's eating you up inside. Just give grace.
Well, there are few people, some ladies especially.
Why did I know? Why did I know?
They're not talking to me. They're talking to me, but I'm talking to them. In other words, once they're ready, I have open arms.
The good thing is that you have gotten to that place where you've realized that, hey, I messed up, and you've made amends with it.
Oh yeah,
And it's on
myself.
them. You've worked on that aspect of it. It's okay. That's the most important thing. In due time, they'll come around.
one of them who doesn't talk to me. I remember a few weeks ago, I was driving in a particular place, and she was like, jaywalking. She was jaywalking. Didn't realize my vehicle have actually hit her. So I actually stopped the vehicle because I made sure, you know what I mean? I was looking out because that's what I normally do anyway. And she couldn't tell who it was in the vehicle.
Because
and
you
she
have a
went,
new ride.
she went, thank you very much. She didn't know it's me inside there.
Oh my word. No way. No way. And what did you do next?
Just it is what it is.
You did not. She still doesn't know that. It was
No,
you?
no, she doesn't know. Yeah. There was another time there was
No
a
way.
lady who wasn't speaking with me over some trivial thing. Now we didn't have I'm just a person I knew, right? And I remember she wasn't talking to me over some trivial matter. She just wasn't talking to me. And I got to know she wasn't talking to me a day I approached her asking her a particular question because she's good at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me point blank, I'm not answering you. Yeah, point blank. She's not answering
I
me.
think she was honest.
So brutally so. brutally honest. So, she wasn't talking to me. And I remember there's a day I was driving in a particular place and she was coming out, right? And if I didn't stop, I would have hit that lady because it would have been her fault.
What's
Right,
up with
I mean-
you and easing people? Oh, playing close calls. What's up with that?
What's up is I don't drive fast. That's the good thing. Yeah. So when she came out of the vehicle and she's thanking me. She didn't realize she doesn't know I'm in the vehicle, but she's thanking me. Thank you so much. And I said, look at that. She has no idea.
If
that I'm
I
in
were
the
you, I'd
vehicle.
bring down the window. Hi. Are you okay?
Don't worry. In time.
I'm sure they know now.
In time.
If somebody kind of goes back with like,
Well, she
okay.
doesn't. She doesn't know. She doesn't know that happened.
I could say what your vehicle looks like on air. She'll know. but I won't. In due time, I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you your time to
Yeah.
do what you need to
But
do.
that particular one, that particular one I'm talking about,
Right.
we're good friends now.
Oh, that's nice.
Very,
I love
very,
when it
very good
happens.
friends. Yeah, I can tell you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And it goes back. There was this incident I had with someone, and I wasn't aware the person actually hated me for like. I'm like, okay. If somebody says, "How's this person? How was working with this person?" I'm like, "Great." And I heard that person was saying mean things. I'm like, huh? Why? But me? Seriously? I've never done anything, but anyways, whatever. I'm kind of like that, right? And I kind of like woosa and I kind of carry on. And that's something my mom has always said. No matter what's happened, just, pray about it and, carry on. You didn't do anything, it's whatever. And it took maybe about 10 years. Something happened. There was this middle person and we spoke and he said to me what happened. It's like, Kina, it took a while for me to realize that you were not like that. I knew you were not like that, but people were saying that you said something. I'm like, me? Are you serious? Over my mom back my man. Like I'm playing here with that, but I was like, really? And he said, no. It really took something had happened. I didn't do anything or say, but apparently what had happened to him was that I got a promotion and he was demoted, and he thought I had something to do with it. Ask God, why is me? I didn't do nothing. So that had some animosity. He developed some animosity because of that and jealousy, and then he just flew with it. And we made amends and we're cool now. Like, he actually thought that I may have said something to get a promotion. I'm like, what? When I get up in the morning and I go to work, that's all I want to do. Go to work, do what I want to do, and go back home.
Exactly. And talking about Sakawi Vemwe, you're telling me this morning that your mom had an incident. Was it?
Yeah, my mom had an accident this morning, but she got out unscathed. When she called, and the call was coming in, I looked at it. I'm like, that's kind of early. She never calls so early unless something is happening. And when I said hello, she's like, hi. But just how she was on the phone, I knew something was wrong. And she said, I had an accident this morning. The vehicle was rolling down the hill, going backward. And I'm like, huh? Really? And she's like, just before, because we speak all the time. And she said, just yesterday, she had a dream that she was involved in an accident, but she was fine. And she said when she was leaving to go to work this morning, she was saying that to my dad. Well, that's my stepdad, but I call him dad. And they prayed just before it happened. She said to him, I do not want to go to work, I do not want to drive, but he has problems with his eyes, so he said he's not able to drop her, and they prayed. And soon after, as she left to drive, and he just heard this sound, this bang. And when he looked, my mom, but she's all right. The only other thing while she was talking to me, she says, Shokiki, mueble kaka. So I'm like, you know me already. I'm like, kaka blow pop pong lote. The vehicle trouble kaka. And she started laughing. I said, it's a good thing you didn't pull on you in that vehicle because that would have been one mess. And we just laughed and laughed about it. And she's like, you see, you always there trying to find the lighter side and everything. And I was like, just stay home, you know what, just remain prayed up and, you know, call in because she's shaken, you know, by it.
Of course.
And she called me maybe 15 minutes after she calmed down, but I'm just thankful that she's okay and that, you know, God, you know, protected her. Nothing happened.
Definitely. Yes. Okay, so that's good. Now here's the thing what I was talking about earlier about tests and trials and so on. There are times now that God allows these things to go through and to happen.
Yeah.
And then some people now are devastated. Lord, why did you allow that to happen? Why me?
Yeah.
Right? If you really existed, where were you? We ask all these questions. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me just talk about what's happening at the Tomaso Bread Place today. Today is going to be stewed chicken wings, saltfish, ground provisions, pumpkin seasoned rice, mac and cheese.
Pumpkin seasoned rice.
Yeah,
That
pumpkin
sounds
seasoned
delicious.
rice. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so mac and cheese, everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite.
I don't know anybody who doesn't love mac and cheese.
Unless those that are vegan.
Okay, well, but doesn't mean they don't like it. They just choose not to have it.
That's
Yeah. Okay, she also has peas and tossed salad. So the menu for today, stewed chicken wings, saltfish, ground provisions, pumpkin seasoned rice, mac and cheese, peas and tossed salad. And of course, you know, they have the regular sea moss flavors, coconut, ginger, peanut and peanut punch, and regular sea moss with flax seeds and chia seeds. All happening today at the Tomaso Bread Place. So please check it out.
I'm imagining going to Yaslin's place and I'll be like, I'll just have the peas and the meat, please. Thank you much.
Yeah.
I'll stay away from the mac and everything else. Yeah, just the cheese, the peas and the meat.
Of course. And that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. Yeah. The thing about the mac and cheese, it's good stuff, you know, because remember you have cheese
my gosh,
inside there.
Cheese and milk.
All right? Yeah, and these have their nutrients and so on. But there's no fiber in that thing.
Yeah.
So that is why when we eat those things, we have to supplement that with the peas or whatever other thing that has fiber.
I go to the washroom too often now.
Say again?
I think I'm eating too much peas of late. Boy.
No, but it's good. It's a good thing.
Not when you're sitting on the toilet all the time.
No, at least 3 times for the day is a good thing. That's what you call good gut health.
I know. I'm just playing.
Yeah. The more often you go inside there, all those toxins are coming out, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah. And it's either that or you don't go for the entire week.
I used to be that way
choice.
once, the entire week or 2 weeks and so. But since I upped, I'm telling you guys, since I upped my intake of fiber, especially peas, Andre was the man who said that. Yeah, not like I didn't know it before because I was doing it before. And after a while, I just peas, Melissa. You know, you pack that on the side.
Yeah, most people don't want it. Most people don't want it.
Yeah, it has really helped.
So we have to make ourselves love those things, even if we don't, right? I was out on Saturday. I was at Myers Bridge. I remember I told you I was playing raising funds for this young lady. And by the way, she was actually at the event. Because as soon as I walked in, and I'm not boasting about that, I just have to say, I paid, although I was playing.
You always say that you do, though.
Yeah, I paid to go inside it because it's a fundraising event. I want to make sure I play my little part.
Play your part.
You understand? And as soon as I walked in, the people organizing the event, they brought to me, I want you to meet the young lady. So they brought me straight to her. She was there, seated there. I said, hello, how you doing? And so on. And said, don't worry. You know, we're going to get things organized for you. Yeah. So, and they were very good turnout. I said the place was just too small. The place is just too small. It's just too small.
Came out. They turned out.
Probably 60% or 70% of the people are outside. Yeah, the place is.
That's really great. I love hearing that. You know, someone is in need, and we hear that a lot of the times. They're having a barbecue or fundraising dance, and just a show of support means a lot to that individual. And I'm happy that she was there as well.
And I find that the people who are, from the south of the island, when I say south, I'm talking about away from the city. I find that they support these things a lot more than our people in the north. Yeah, people in the north, you have a hard time coming out to support events like that.
Why that's the case,
and even if they do come, they want to pay the bare minimum, where we in the city can do a lot better than that. Even if the people are charging $5.
Why do you think that's the case, Andre?
What was that?
that people don't really show support in the north as opposed to the south of the island?
I don't know. It's a strange thing, really, really strange. As to and we're the ones who are supposed to be the employed ones, not the people down there. They're having a lot of challenges, and they still try to do what they can to.
Could it be
to
a thing
assist.
where they hear it so much and they've assisted people in the past and not really? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but I think people in the south do work too. But it's more of maybe a sense of community,
I think so.
knowing that individual, because people are a lot more close knit in the southern areas. So
I
that
think you
could
have
be
a point there.
reason.
You have a point. Yeah, people are a lot
Yeah.
closer. In fact, they're so close that if somebody in the community dies, you're not having any event in the community. Forget about that, like a dance and so on. No. Once you see you have death, especially somebody who's well known in the community, or somebody like that young lady.
young lady.
Oh man, forget about it.
Okay.
Yeah, forget about it. Man, in the city, life goes on. Life goes on. I can tell you that.
Yeah, life does go on.
Yeah. But anyway, I assured her that she's gonna be okay. Yeah.
I'm happy you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into other matters. The tourism minister, Dr. Ernest Dela, he's predicting a strong rebound for St. Lucia's cruise sector.
Okay.
That's important, huh? The cruise sector. He says that they're looking at about 800,000 people
That's a lot.
during this cycle. And I think the aim, he says, is they're looking at wooing about a million visitors
In the next
through
year
the
or
cruise
so?
the cruise sector, through the cycle. I guess when the cruise tourism begins, that cycle, whatever time of the year, I'm not too sure exactly when it begins and when it ends. All I know is that when I used to play in the hotel a long time ago, there's one called the winter season, and that's where things just get quiet.
Kind of get really quiet, yeah.
Yeah. No. I lie. That's when things got better. I'm sorry.
In the
I'm
winter
sorry.
season?
Yeah, because remember they're coming down.
You're coming down to
to
get away
avoid.
from the winter and everything
Right.
like that.
So you had the summer. The summer was when you have the challenges, because no need for them to come down to get the sunshine that we enjoy. Yeah. So that's a lot. That's 800,000 people. That's a lot.
That's a lot, because tourism is pretty much the heartbeat of so many islands, and that's what that brings in the revenue. So, and then we had to deal with the storms plus the pandemic, rebuilding. So hearing that we were pushing past that, or trying to, that's how we make tourism really work for the people. I guess they're in talks and so on. So that's going to be a good thing. But even with the cruise ship passengers as well, we have to somewhat, I'm sure they're working on that as well, because sometimes, a lot of the times, the cruise ship passengers don't really come out. They don't really live the cruise ship. Yeah, you stay on board, there's so many activities to do on that cruise ship, you don't really come out. And if you do, it's maybe to sightseeing, because your stint it's just short, from whatever time you dock to maybe about 6 p.m. depending on and you leave the port at 6 p.m. So you have a lot to do within that stipulated time.
I think the ministry would be doing the smart thing to maybe at some point conduct some kind of survey to find out what is the problem. Why is it that you have so many cruise visitors and not as you just said a while ago, most of them don't disembark. They just stay on the ship, and we'll probably take a look at the harbor, see what's happening
you walk
there.
around
But it'd be
within the
interesting.
vicinity. Some do go sightseeing, but that has to be done ahead of time, because when I did the cruise last year, most of the islands I did sightseeing because I planned it ahead of time. But the other times it was just pretty much rest days. I didn't even disembark to go and venture to do anything. I just stayed, because everything, you could play video games, you could go to the restaurants. The food is free, pretty much. You're not gonna want to leave. And
I
go
wonder
to
what
get
it is.
food or so
Sorry,
like that.
sorry about it. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what it is that they say to those cruise passengers. Maybe that's a turn off for them. Is it the crime situation? Maybe they warn them and say, if you're going to go and disembark, please very, very careful, and this kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just I'm just
I think
speculating.
for it is that for some cruise passengers, they're very adventurous, and some others just go because I've paid all that money. I just want to enjoy it, and you could see the beauty of the island from when you're coming in. You could walk around and so. And most people just venture within the shops around when they've docked, and they disembark. Some do that, but again, I will say that I'm maybe going to get flack for it, but St. Lucia is becoming a very expensive place to visit. the food, the guest houses, Airbnbs is becoming a very expensive place to visit. And yeah, we are a beautiful country. You know, the Pitons talk about everything else that we do have compared to other Caribbean islands. But we have to also take that into consideration as well. Because when you do come back, let's just say if you're spending whoosh, maybe a few cents on a Coke, and you come to St. Lucia and they tell you it's 2, 3 US or 5 US for a Coke, like, huh? Okay. And compare that to other things. You know, so we have, as much as we have so much to do, we also have to take into consideration that because when we see the money, we want the US dollar, we want the pounds, we want so on. But if we continue to make St. Lucia a very expensive place to travel, people are going to find other options. Or if they're on a cruise, they will just not disembark.
So what the Ministry of Tourism, I think I'm suggesting, is to do a survey. Find out exactly what may be going on as to why, because remember, you brought up the point, and it's a very good point, that a lot of the cruise visitors or cruise passengers don't really visit per se. They don't get off the ship. They just stay there and look around and that kind of thing. Yeah. Or if they're in the Point Seraphine area, they just go to the shops that are there, and they feel, I guess, pretty safe in that area. So I do not know. I'm just asking whether the crime situation may be something, a contributing factor to that. Also, what is it that we have to offer in the city? Is our city beautiful? I know some people will say, well, we don't need a beautiful city, but to me, if I'm visiting someplace, I want to see something that is really pretty, something that looks attractive, right? Something that I would have a very good reason to go and take a look at it. Do we have a museum in the city? Do we have that, for example?
We have one, the Derek Walcott. Isn't there one in the city or something?
A museum?
Like not a museum, but you know what I'm talking about. Not a museum, but there's something in the city. The Cashries Market
the bust.
It's a very beautiful place to visit too.
Where? The city?
The Cashries Market.
Oh, the market?
Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to visit and get, souvenirs.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are markets all over the world. I went to Barbados, beautiful market. I went to Martinique, beautiful market. And markets all over the place.
We need to make ours different.
What is it that we have to offer to cause people to want to disembark and come and see what is it that we have in the city?
Some visitors just want to hang out with the locals. That's all they want to do. They want to just walk and, just experience what it is, just walking around. And sometimes you see them as far as some individuals, because I live in VG, and even on my way to work or from work, you would see some cruise passengers walking along that stretch, maybe towards the supermarket all the way in Leclerc. They're just walking around pretty much. Yeah. Some people just like to explore.
Well, yes.
But your point is valid.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be done.
Ministry should really find out what are the reasons for people wanting to disembark.
Yeah.
Not necessarily why you don't want to disembark in St. Lucia, but what is it that you're looking for to see if we can provide those things. Yeah. And when they come, they have a reason for leaving the ship. Okay, but anyway, at least that's good. 800,000 people. Out of the 800,000, you might get maybe 1,000 that would, over the period, the course of time that you have the cruise season, that maybe they have disembarked, and also that they're going to spend some money. That's the other thing. And the vendors have been complaining for years that even if they pass by, they don't really spend any money.
The other thing too, if they have other stops, some of the Caribbean have the same thing. So if you stop in St. Kitts, then you see that you come to St. Lucia, is the same thing, different price. You may have already gotten it. You wouldn't get it again.
And as you said, maybe our price is a lot higher.
So there are so many different reasons.
Okay, so the numbers sound good. But I think as the tourism minister was talking about training and so on, and I guess when he talks about training, I imagine he's talking about those people who probably interact with the visitors to ensure that they experience the best of St. Lucia. Okay, I want to say bravo to the Labour Party administration. They have removed a requirement that is really was a sore point for a lot of students, especially for those from low-income families, where they had to provide, if they're applying for a scholarship, they had to provide a financial guarantee. So in other words, that be their contribution towards the scholarship. Now I was a little confused about it, because I said, but if it's a scholarship, what are they providing a financial guarantee for. So, do you know why that may be so? Because I'm not sure.
Will be able to pay back if they're not able to pay back the loan.
It's a scholarship. It's a scholarship.
Did they need that for scholarship?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading there. That they
really?
removed the requirement for students applying for scholarships to provide a financial guarantee.
Why was that needed in the first place?
I don't know. It sounds a little contradictory, because if it's a scholarship, why do they need a financial guarantee? So I'll have to find out a little more about that. As
Maybe
to why
there
that
was
is
a
so.
reason, but I'm happy they removed it. That's the most important thing, because you realize, hey, you actually, I'm just happy they removed it.
Mhm.
But I wonder why they had it set up that way in the first place. Because if it's a scholarship, a full scholarship or partial?
I don't know. They said applying for scholarships, so I imagine scholarships full. I'm not too sure. But anyway, under the new system, students will now only need to provide a character reference. So somebody has to say, hey, this person, as far as I know, is a person of good repute and so on. Yeah. So, but I'll find out. Because when I thought maybe that's for a loan or something. When I
know
heard
for the
scholarships,
loans that you need that, but I wasn't aware.
maybe somebody, please, if you know better than us,
knows, let
when
us
we
know.
when we have the chiming in, it'll be a good
I'm
time
sure
to
someone will
rearrange our
respond.
ignorance. Maybe there's something that we're missing out on.
I wasn't aware that you needed that for a scholarship. But
Mhm.
anyway.
Okay. Over the last few weeks, although we didn't really talk about it, but the police have been making a number of arrests and filing charges and so on against people who work at certain places, like at the ports, at the general post office, right? Where they seem to be facilitating the flow of illicit guns and drugs.
Into
I
the
mean,
country.
I've been reading a few of them, names and all being mentioned, that these people have been charged, including females. I say, what am I reading there?
It's crazy.
And I'm saying to myself, yes, it's true. You made some money.
Mhm.
You made some money. Hopefully, it was okay dollars, and now you have to face the music. What is that? What is that for?
Come back. That's some serious stuff, because and like you rightly said, you've been it's been in the news, Rev-Up Slu news.
Yeah.
Organized crime has been creeping into our ports for a very, very long time, and that's very, very dangerous. And the fact that some employees are actually helping them, that's betrayal at the worst, and it's scary. It is scary. For a few $100s, you're putting so many lives at risk.
You know it's a few $100?
I don't know, I'm just assuming.
Because I'm saying, if somebody's going to be doing something like that, Monsieur, now I'm not encouraging people to go and do this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, if you're going to be doing something like that, it can't be for a few $100s. You're putting your future at risk for a few $100s.
You might be surprised what someone would do for a few $100s when they ain't making that much money. And especially, you see, and it speaks volumes about the person in the situation, because not everyone, even though they're making just measly a little bit of money, because they depending on how virtuous that person is, it depends on the person's character, and they wouldn't do it. But there's some individuals, they figure, okay, I need to make ends meet today. I don't have money to pay this. Maybe I'm just gonna do it and I will stop it next month. And that's where the cycle starts. So I think it's important as well. Right is wrong, and wrong is wrong, and right is right. By all accounts, this is wrong. It should not have happened. So many lives are being put at risk, and it's a wake-up call for all of us. But when you constantly hearing of instances where employees are going to great lengths to either bring drugs into the country, that's a shake-up. You need to try to figure out why that's going on.
Or facilitating
that.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, go back to, hey, how much is this employee making a month? What's really going on? Why? Sometimes maybe during the arrest, they could find out, okay, why did you do it? And some might not respond, some might.
It's that thing,
but
your name
shocking.
being mentioned in public like that, right? It's just not a nice thing. And I'm saying to myself, was it worth it in the final analysis? What did you gain from that? Yes, it's true. You got a few extra
people
according
just
to you, a
don't
few extra
think.
$100. You know,
Some
but
people don't think, they only think of in the moment, hoping that they will not get caught. But I am.
or they think that they're smart.
Or they're smart. They could beat the system. You can never beat the system. Nah. When that comes swinging at you, when you get caught, there's no out of it. You know. And we have to stay alert and be vigilant because we have to keep each other safe. Because sometimes we are aware of what's happening around us. We're just too afraid to speak.
And Kina, this is so serious because we have a problem with illicit firearms in our country, where illegal firearms are being used to kill people, whether what they consider to be guilty, and you also have innocent people.
Yeah,
and folks, sometimes we forget that. We forget that there are innocent people who have to be the victims of crime. Okay. We forget that part. We just believe that because somebody got shot, they must be involved in illicit activity. That is just not the case.
Not the case. No. Okay? No. It's not always true.
So, let's be very, very careful, when we quick to rush to judgment. But listen to this. When you have the police say that well, of course, let me just mention, it's important, right? The head of the Gang Narcotics and Firearms Unit, Siobhan Matthew, right? He gives some statistics there that the operations that they had recently led to the seizure at 17 firearms.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of firearms.
That's a lot of firearms, man.
So you telling me you work at the ports, you work at the post office or whatever, you're allowing yourself to be used to do this sort of thing?
No one in St. Lucia is joining the army in St. Lucia.
Yeah, what you doing? What
you doing with so many?
17 firearms. The people that are bringing those things in, you in a war or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the little local skirmishes and so on, but there's no.
No, but what do they think is going to happen bringing it into the country?
Exactly.
Especially when it gets into the wrong hands still. No. They don't have no right. In that instance, no, you shouldn't be part of it.
They also seized more than 3,000 rounds of ammunition. 3,000.
What?
I mean, where you're
Hearing
going with
that
those
just
things?
breaks me.
So you as a worker, you are entrusted to protect our ports and so on. That's what you're doing. And now your name is out there. In fact, the police say they're really going to be having what they call confrontations are imminent. They're going to go after these people.
The penalty should be stiffer for anyone who brings guns, narcotics, and whatever into our country. It should be stiffer.
And they're the ones. Either they're the ones importing them because they figure, okay, it must pass through me kind of thing. Maybe they could be the ones importing it to sell, or there's some middleman, somebody.
There's always a middleman and someone in financing.
Yeah, paying them to allow these things to come into the country.
Always.
So
someone
you're
is
not
benefiting
thinking,
somewhere. They don't just, get packaged and hidden in boxes and goes through all of that to get here. Someone here and abroad is facilitating that. There's a lot of money behind this entire thing.
Not a few $100s. You change your mind?
Not a few $100.
You change your mind. So when I say bravo to the police.
Yeah, for doing it.
For being alert and I know when it comes to things like guns and so on, yes, you're on top of things. But there's some areas where y'all are really lacking, the police. I call them the police.
That's why I looked at you like...
it's something else I have to say.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I hope, y'all can have that same drive, right? When somebody comes and reports a theft.
Yeah, they should have the same drive.
Have that same drive. Yeah. Not only when is guns and drugs and so on. Y'all seem to be, that does get you excited.
Yes, because a lot is happening with guns and ammunition in the country.
But somebody come and say, my house was burgled. Same thing
as well should happen as well, because if one thing happens in your case, Tony's house, what happened there, the individuals were not arrested.
I'm not the only one.
They could do it again, and many others as well.
Kina,
yeah.
I'm not the only one who complains about that aspect of policing. Okay, you all need to work on that, because you're taking those matters too lightly. Okay, you have people who are literally petrified now, because my gosh, man, now they have to be. I'll be honest with you. Before I used to just keep my, I have what they call the dead lock, the deadbolt. I had that there. I never really used to use it, to be honest with you, unless of course when I go to sleep. So during the day, early evening, that'd be open. But since what happened to Tony there, boy, I changed that.
But I do not know if there are individuals in St. Lucia. I think, say Volea. I think they've gotten really. There's so many things that you could learn from YouTube videos and online, because when they go into some houses, you have deadbolts, you have burglar bars. There are instances where I've heard that some of these guys, they cut that burglar bar to make entry.
Well, yeah, because if the house is unoccupied,
there were people living
it's
there, but they
unoccupied,
monitor your
movements
and so on. They know what time you leave home, what time. These people, why you don't go and become a police then? Like if you sometimes they're so, to be a thief, you have to be real smart. Because you're monitoring, you know what to do, you know what time the person comes back. Go join the police force and don't thief no more. That's one way of making some income. Hello.
But they have a police record.
No, but no, I'm saying if you're not okay. I'm speaking to you out there, right? You maybe used to steal before, and you figure you don't want to steal no more. Nobody is found out. Just deal with God and be like, God, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want a job, that can, and go join the police force and don't steal anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, Nikki, sorry.
You know why I said that? Because they will have first-hand information as to how other thieves move, because they used to steal before. So they know what to do. They could help the police. Sheesh.
Yeah, but the thing is, those people, what are their options, right? When they think about that, okay. So say you're talking about maybe a school dropout, all right? So he will not get a job in the police force for sure. You understand? That's a school dropout, right? And maybe they have other issues that they're going through. So sometimes let me not go there.
Yeah,
but the thing is. I'm saying to the police, you need to not only take things like illicit firearms and drugs and so on seriously. Take all aspects of policing seriously.
And now that you
go after them fellas. Go after them fellas, man.
Just go after them.
Go after them fellas.
It's really bad. We're in a
put the fear of the Lord in them fellas.
I have to agree.
Okay, because let me tell you something. All them fellas you see there, one set. Listen, you know who they fear? They fear two things: the law and the police.
Yeah.
I can tell you, they are afraid.
That is true.
When you see, no matter how bad they are, and they end up in a court, and they see a judge is there, my gosh, these fellas that we what kakaglo. Oh,
yes.
Boy.
Yes.
They're getting it. So they're afraid of the police, and they're afraid of what the law says.
Yeah.
So this is not right. I mean, I cannot I cannot speak enough about what happened there with Tony's situation after information was provided to you. Information provided. Truth bad guy, and you're telling me up to now
has not been made.
Not a call. Let's just forget about the arrest for a while. Not a call to say, Mr. Paul, we're still following up. And you know the worst part? I wasted my time.
You didn't waste your time.
Yes, I did. I wasted my time.
I hope they're listening, and I hope you maybe get a call in the next 2 weeks or so.
But it doesn't make any sense. These fellas already disposed of those things already. As a matter of fact, the main culprit, somebody sent me a video of him targeting another residence.
Oh, my word.
That main culprit. And you know how I know that there's that sucker for true? He hasn't been in my area, at least around my home. He was always around my home there, coming asking for favors, right? And I used to help the guy out. Yeah, serious. I used to help him out. And he hasn't been there since that incident. He hasn't come around.
Okay. Well, he if he knows, so he wouldn't come around. And there's something else you mentioned, that a high school dropout, and some employers really, some of the qualifications they ask for. Let's just say for someone who wants to do laundry, what do you need 5 CXCs for? Like seriously, what do you need math, English, whatever else you're asking for the person to do laundry? That person will never get a job then.
And don't forget the character reference.
Yeah.
Remember that as well. And once you see, in fact, the Minister for Crime Prevention was there last Friday. I was asking him about that. What is the thinking behind giving an individual a mark on the, once you see you go to prison, or you charged and things like that, then you become marked.
For a very long time, depending on the crime.
So I understand the reason for doing that. But I think maybe this is something that needs to be reviewed every maybe 5 years or something like that.
In some instances, there are some,
because to keep that
on the crime, they have that mark for 5 years, some longer, depending on the level of the crime committed, I think.
Well, that was for certain things. For example, the marijuana situation.
Yeah.
So I think this administration had that record expunged. for minor infractions.
Right, that's
But it seems as though under the old system, you'd carry that thing for the rest of your life. You can't even travel, you can't do anything. So what is the wisdom behind that? We have to find a way around that. Because now you're talking about a young man there who is frustrated, and he's thinking about his options. What is it that I have to do now?
What is it that I can do
so I can survive?
I have to survive. Yeah, that's true too.
So and I understand. Somebody has raped somebody. That's a serious crime, right? And you can't allow that to just pass like because especially if there's been no reform, nothing on the part of this individual. But we shouldn't be surprised by the high rate of recidivism in St. Lucia, because you're talking about people who have a mark on their record stating that you've been charged with a crime or you spent time in prison.
And not just a mark, it's us as well being so unforgiving, knowing that person did whatever they may have done, and we keep, sounding the alarm that person did this and so on, makes it very, very difficult. Or if maybe the individual may have gotten a job and may have, come to terms with it and making changes to have a better life, and you now go in and be like, that person so and so, boy, the person got fired right away because the employer didn't know, and then what happens to that individual now? Sometimes people are some individuals are really out there working to become better individuals. And if you do know and you see the person working and actually doing what he or she needs to do to become a better individual, give them grace. Don't use what you know against them to make sure that they lose that job that they have.
That is true. I know a young man who spent most of his life in prison, always in, out. That's how he spent his entire life. He couldn't get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
He couldn't get a job anywhere because his problem was stealing. Okay? He couldn't get a job anywhere. And I remember I interviewed him one time, and he said to me that when he was incarcerated, he said he used to get work at the Governor General's residence. He used to work there. And he said, I was able to get a job there. But the thing is that he was under surveillance. In other words, you have a warden watching over you. So he says he was able to get work there, but when he left prison, he was out, he went back to the same place asking for a job, and they didn't take him. Although while he was in prison now, he got a job there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you see, it's the way the system operates.
The system is different because obviously he is being monitored.
Supervised.
Right. So now, there's no supervision. We don't know what's going to happen with you. But
So let me just piggyback on what you said earlier and make this announcement to all these people who want to get involved in crime and so on. St. Lucians, and maybe the world, are very unforgiving when it comes to this matter of you spending time in prison.
I would say the majority.
They're very unforgiving. Okay. Let me rephrase that. Very distrusting.
Yeah.
Okay, distrusting. Anyway, before we end, let me just ask you and our listeners and viewers to spare a thought for Jamaica. They're going through a rough time. There's no two ways around that one. I mean, I've seen pictures of Gaza after Israel,
the bombings
tore through the people's homes and so on there. And when you look at what's happening there in Jamaica, it's similar.
It's war.
I mean, the winds there were 185 miles per hour.
892 millibars. That's strength.
And it was slow. It was slow. And folks, if any of us live through Thomas, you know what we're talking about. Thomas just rested in St. Lucia and take its cool time.
And that was just rain.
Yeah, cool time going through St. Lucia. I remember all night long. I was up all morning. I said, "But when are going to stop?" When you think you get a little break, you say, again. So that's the thing with that kind of. Yeah. So we don't know. Initially, there were 3-4 deaths reported. Now we're in 28.
And I imagine it's going to go up.
Probably
a hurricane of that magnitude, category 5. The infrastructure behind it tells you what's going to happen in the coming days and weeks. It's going to the death toll will definitely rise.
An 8-month pregnant woman was among the dead.
I read it and I heard it in your news this morning.
18-year-old.
Boy,
they said now that she was home. Well. She was home with her mother, her father and her brother, and she said, of course, the strength of these winds just tore down that little wooden house.
There's another story.
So you see the thing about poverty and so on. Boy.
When you see the devastation and you hear the stories and you see the videos and you hear the people speak, it's just heartbreaking to have lived through that. But even in the midst of that, there are other stories that put that smile on your face. And we have a tendency to question God. There's this other story with this woman. I think she has about 3 or 4. My friend Juanita was actually telling me about that this morning when she stopped by. And she was saying this lady has 3 children. And they're all disabled, 3 or 4 children, and they're all disabled, and they live in this little house. And during Hurricane Melissa, obviously she's saying to God, what am I supposed to do? How can I take my children to safety? And she just prayed, and her house stood. Nothing happened to it. And sometimes, yeah, that's another great story coming out there. But the devastation, I think whatever we can do to assist the people of Jamaica to help them rebuild, it's very important at this stage, and they're still reeling from Hurricane Beryl as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, folks, let's just spare thought for the people of Jamaica, spare thought also for the people of Haiti. Haiti got hit badly. 30 people, and funny, there's very little talk about that. 30 people killed, including 10 children, right? 160 homes damaged, 80 others destroyed. And one gentleman was speaking, and he said, he lost his entire family. He said he has 4 children in the home. He says the one is a 1-month-old baby, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, and another who was about to turn 4. All of them killed. As a result, Melissa, and I say we hardly anybody's talking about this.
You barely hear anything about
in Haiti,
now,
in Haiti's
especially
situation.
after Melissa, Jamaica is at the forefront.
Yeah.
You don't really hear much of Cuba, and
We'll get to Cuba in a second.
so-
We'll get to Cuba in a second. 152 disabled people in Haiti's southern region required emergency food assistance. You heard what I just said there? 152 disabled.
Wow.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. So that means these people who were just going for a rough time there without food, nothing there, and so they were negatively impacted. All right, and they said they had about 11,600 people in shelters. All right, in Haiti. The president of the Transitional Presidential Council said it's a sad moment for the country. That's on top of all what they're going through with all the displacement, the crime, the gangs. Haiti is really having a rough time.
They're getting a pounding over and over. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's bad. So I mentioned Cuba a while ago. No deaths were reported there, but they had blocked roads. They spoke about electricity being down, internet was down, telephone services down due to transformers and power lines. I think they had to evacuate 735,000 people across eastern Cuba, right? So they had it rough as well. Now, what's making it worse in the case of Cuba, right, is this embargo, this 67, 66-year-old economic embargo imposed by the U.S. I understand the reasons for that. When the former Cuban leader Fidel Castro took over, basically there were certain American enterprises that they just basically commandeered those things. As far as the Americans concerned, you thief our thing and you didn't compensate us for it.
That's too long, man.
So you exactly.
That's
So
too
I
long.
understand. I understand there's a history. There's a history behind that.
Come on.
Right?
But I think some Caribbean islands and some countries around the world, they voted just recently to have the embargo removed.
Well, every I think year or so that they do that every year.
It should be removed.
And you have more.
Come
And by the way,
on.
bravo to CARICOM. All
Yeah.
14 Caribbean community countries voted in support of the resolution, which is to lift it. Right? Now, head at now. This embargo, see, this is the problem there. The embargo covers head at almost all exports from Cuba. So they can hardly export anything.
Right.
Okay? They can hardly export
they can't
anything.
continue to do that.
So the that came up, of course, as you mentioned, at the United Nations, and the Cuban foreign minister was saying to the U.S., at least, mon Dieu, ease up on the issue of humanitarian supplies and things like that. Ease up on that, so at least, mon Dieu, we can have a little wiggle room.
Come on, man.
And you know what the response was there? You know what the response was? There was this guy that's there, the United Nations, the U.S. envoy to the United Nations, Mike Waltz. Right? Here was the response. Please stop repeating this propaganda. Yeah, please stop repeating this propaganda. They do not care. They do not care. I do not know where these people come from. In fact, they've always been around.
They've
They've always been around. But as I
they
said,
will always, somebody like them will
always be around. But once upon a time, people would frown upon that kind of behavior.
That should be lifted by now.
Things have changed
I don't
where
like it.
these bad boys, right, are allowed to speak like that. In fact, the United Nations now was talking about what's happening there, those strikes, America striking those boats and so on. And they said that, listen, this is violating international law and so on, right? So listen to the response from the White House. This lady called Anna Kelly, right? She's the Deputy Press Secretary. Listen to what she's saying. The United Nations has, and I don't know why they even bother to go to the United Nations. Why are you all going there? If you all feel that way about the United Nations, why are you bothering to go there? Benjamin Netanyahu called the United Nations a house of shadows. That's what he calls it. But he still goes there to address. I don't understand that. Right? You have very little respect for the United Nations and what it stands for. Why are you all going there? I don't get it. So listen to her response. The United Nations has failed at everything from operating an escalator, right, to ending wars. Right? In other words, you have no locus standi. Right? They say it's ridiculous that you're now lecturing President Trump. The president acted in line with the laws of armed conflict to protect our country from those trying to bring poison to our shores. It's like the United Nations is nothing. Like and I'm going to disrespect you.
I understand them saying that they want to protect America and so on. They're fighting drugs and we're keeping poison to our shores. But what bothers me is who decides that those people, Andre, who decides that those people, the boats, deserve to be bombed? They need to die before. Yeah. And it's just frustrating. Before they even know, we don't even know who they are. They say they have evidence. We don't have it. There's nothing being put out there except maybe a few video images or something that's out there. But you can't just bomb boats. That's not and call it justice. That's wrong.
You just assume, without any evidence, you see a boat passing, you see a submarine passing, it's boo.
You can't. When we're talking about the Caribbean region, we need to, and that's why CARICOM was set up. The CARICOM Peace Treaty was set up. We are peaceful people, and if the U.S. could come here within our shores to do that, they can go anywhere else and do the same.
Which they do.
We're just ordinary people trying to survive it. Yeah, I get the war on drugs and all that kind of thing. But just to bomb people, take them to court. Do it the right way. If we start justifying these kind of strikes because we think, okay, if someone is a threat, then what are we saying, Andre?
Exactly. So you see how some people do not forgive? 66 years you have an embargo. Okay, there was an issue back then, 1958, when that thing was first started. So 67 years, right? You're telling me you still hold that against Cuba? And then you're talking about how you care about the Cuban people, and that's how you behave. And the people are the ones suffering.
How you care about the Cuban people is by lifting the embargo.
So they feel that by applying this pressure now, right, that the Cuban regime will just buckle.
No, and they're not going to buckle. But if they do care, and they're saying that they care about the Cuban people, lifting the embargo would show that we care about you.
So, folks, as we speak, in Cuba, they can't export almost everything. Whatever it is that they have to export is almost impossible to export them. So whatever they allowed must be just some minuscule thing. Minuscule. Also, let's keep spare thought for the people in Kenya as well, in Western Kenya. There was a landslide there on Saturday. And 26 people who died in that landslide.
Oh my!
I think 25 people are still missing. So when that landslide took place, they said it washed away roads and so on. sorry. Kenya has been experiencing flooding, and displacing a number of thousands of people. Yeah, not just a number, thousands of people. So a lot of countries are going through a rough time, and. The thing is, we right now we're not going through that kind of crisis right now, but I mean, doesn't mean that it will always be like that.
We all need to pay attention because, and the other thing too, you don't really hear of the story. So I'm happy that when you do news, it's on there, because a lot of the times the other bigger countries comes to the fore. Paris, something like there's a flood in New York, you hear constantly, non-stop.
That's right.
But that's when it's important that you, as you mentioned, to keep Kenya in our prayers, because the headline on that is going to fade eventually.
Exactly. In fact, when I said it was a short story, short story, they don't make a big fuss with it.
They don't.
International media. But if it's something in the U.S., something in England, in France, those first world countries. Oh gosh, boy.
But it all just that story alone, and just the other stories, the hurricanes and so on. We are all connected, even though we live in a different country. We are all connected in one way or another, and though it might be happening over there, you just never know. And you will always, and that's always good when you say, you know what, just keep them in our prayers and that sort of stuff.
66 to 67 years, Missy. No forgiveness. Wow, boy.
Hope that changes.
All right. Okay, so let's get into the shout-outs.
Let me get my mouth here.
Okay, folks, it's 5 minutes after 11. This is Hard Drive on Rev-Up St. Lucia 95.9 FM. We're also on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and also on DBS Television. A big thank you to the folks at DBS for taking the time to broadcast our program on their TV station. So thank you very much, Linda, and all the staff. Thank you for facilitating us. All right. Are you ready?
So, yes, I am. Where should I start? What should I start with first? Facebook? What's our idea, man? One in charge, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let's do the Facebook platform first. Good morning. Sharon Peter is the first to chime in on Facebook, and she says, "Good morning,
Morning,
Rev-Up
Sharon.
family.
Morning, Sharon.
Happy November." Oh yeah, we're in November already. Sheesh.
Yeah, today's the third. The third. Wake up.
Oh my gosh. She also went on to say, "Pretty K, good morning." And she says, "Morning, Rev-Up family." She sent it a few times actually. Florida Studios, good morning. Floral Studios. And that number, Sharon, would you like me to read that on air, or was that an error? John McCurdy says, "Bless good morning, Rev-Up family." Good morning, John. Sharon Peter returned and she says, "Bonjour." Catherine McPhee is in the house and she says, "Good morning, Andre and Kina."
Morning, Catherine.
Pious Snappy, yeah man, is here too. And he says, "Good morning."
Let me say good morning to my good friend Catherine in Degazon. Yes, she was under the weather recently, but she's doing a lot better.
Okay.
We spoke on Saturday. She sounds a lot better. And she had some serious issues. She had some very, very serious issues.
Good morning, Catherine in Degazo.
Yes.
Hey, what did I do? Catherine, what happened was that wasn't meant for you. It just came out in a different way. But kisses. Happy you're doing better. Martha Shaw says, "Amazing day, Mr. Andre and lovely Kina." She sends kisses and hugs. Blessed day, everyone. Peace and love.
Martha
Thank
Shaw,
you so
good morning
much,
to you.
Martha. Guess who's in the house as well? Someone else from the Gaza. Pearl Food Baby Henry.
Yes. I thought I met her, right?
Yes,
Recently?
you did. You did. You said so last week. Last week or the week before?
Yeah, I think it was last
you
week.
Did. She says, "Good morning to the Rev-Up family and all in the chat room. Have a blessed day." Good morning, Pearl. Barbara Augustine is in the house too. She says, "Good morning. I'm just wondering if I'll see my toenail again in the earth made new. I'm missing his presence. Rest in peace." Babs, sending you hugs and kisses as well.
That's a good question. You know, I was at Rambali's funeral parlor. I went there, was it Friday? Friday, I think I went there. And I went upstairs, take care of some business. On my way back down, I saw this nice looking casket. So I said, let me just go and, take a closer look because it looks nice, kind of thing I would want. When I got closer, I saw a person inside the thing. I said,
no, I wasn't ready.
It's true. I'm going to take a look at the casket. I said, that's the kind of way I'd like to go. I'd like to go like that. I just see somebody lying on. Hey.
Lord help me, sorry. I shouldn't be laughing right now, but I can't. Oh my word. No, it doesn't ever happen to me right there. No.
Yeah, boy. Well, that's a little joke. Okay, calm down. Let's
No, you
continue.
know what happened? I just pictured you. Everybody walking towards the thing, mentally telling yourself, hey, that look like a good,
A good send off.
Sasho, that's a good word.
All right.
John Flavian says, bonjour. Anderson Kalik says, LOL, Miss Shirley, all right? Oh, Andy, how you doing? It's been a while. Sending your kisses. Mwah. Oh, gosh, I haven't seen Anderson Kalik in so long. He went on to say, I don't like it anymore. He's referring to mac and cheese. Too much in my lifetime.
I think all of us. All of us. Mm-hmm.
Someone else, Conrad says, some people just don't like walking in the sun. Most times, everything is all about inclusive food, drinks, etc. tips. He's referring to the cruise ship and disembarking. Oh, you might have a right. You have a very valid point here, too. Madeline Augustine says, good morning, beautiful. Tale, Madeline. I don't know what happening to the emojis.
Morning, Madeline. Hope all is well with you and the family.
Okay. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Thank you so much for that. Have a marvelous Monday.
You as well, Madeline.
Thank you. Conrad says they do the same in Europe, staying on the ship.
Okay.
Madeline returned and she says they need to revive the city once again. It was a place we would enjoy before. Now it's not, especially at nights. I guess she's referring to the crime situation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and also there's very little nightlife apart from KFC. That's about it, eh? It's true, right?
Yeah.
8 o'clock, you see KFC still open. Like, for example, on Miku Street, KFC is open. And that's about it.
That's about it. Nothing else.
No other restaurant, no
People
other,
used
nothing.
to go to the town square. Remember, and just chill and vibe, sit.
Yeah, restaurants will be
walk
open.
around
Restaurants will be open. But I think right now, because of the crime situation, the merchants is in
no idea
Esta.
what that crime situation is doing.
Mhm.
You don't really sit and think about it, but really it's just taking so much from us. Our children are missing out. We are missing out too.
Yes.
Right. Nigel too says, I heard the announcement and it made no sense. Clarification is in order.
Scholarships.
I think so.
That's
as well.
true. I guess it's a little strange. It's a little strange.
Yeah. Madeline Alexander says, it's all about the money, SMH. Greedy. Oi. Conrad returns says, true, my lady. Investigate your staff. Look for signs for debts, lifestyle over their names, lifestyle over their means, homes, etc. And he went on to say they should have jobs for primary school leavers. They can learn on the job. See, She Chubb is in the house, and she says, Andre Kamla Prasad says, Prime Minister of Trinidad, sent relief for Jamaica. Did your PM send anything? I'm sure they're working on it.
Of course. Especially
maybe
through
they haven't, but
the St. Lucia Hospitality, because I think they're trying to organize things.
Organize things and stuff like that. So they will.
The SLHTA,
right,
St. Lucia
right,
Hospitality and Tourism Association. They're probably working through them.
And sometimes we need to stop making everything so political. We need to stop,
There's no way our government will just sit by
and not
do something to assist. Definitely.
Yeah. And DK is in the house. He says, where in the world produce more drugs? Pleasant good day to all. Kiki, missed you a bit. That's from NDK. Miss you too. And Andre, morning to you, Andre Quayol Paul Sakafet.
You'll have jokes.
Oh my gosh. Alexandrine Lissa says, good morning, Rev-Up family. And DK returns, says, Catherine is still being checked up on by Andre.
Yes.
That's a good thing. And DK came back and says, Kiki, give Mama Shirley my regards. Sure, we'll do, most definitely. And DK returns, says, wow, Andre Paul, ebe bon, you going casket shopping, Mama?
According to Kina, what happened was I just happened to be there.
Marlene Alexander says, oh my goodness, Andre, and laughing emojis. I think that took everyone out. Huh? Listen, y'all people, y'all chime in sometimes. need to stop, you know. And I love our chimers because they come at us sometimes and they laugh with us.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you too. So Arthur Charles says, the dead should beat you, Andre.
You see what they're taking on? I spoke about all kinds of things, you know, the embargo against Cuba.
You know,
no comments on that one.
Oh, means pudding my Alpha. So, Kadi. But anyways, moving on. Iphigenia says, good morning, Andre and Kina. You are absolutely amazing. Hands down, the best radio station out there. Andre, you
Thank you.
killed me this morning with the comments about looking at somebody's casket. Oh my gosh. Kina, he got you good, LOL. I was laughing so hard. You both made my morning so much better. Keep doing what you do. And DK is just laughing emojis. Thank you so much. Now, Andre, I can't get that on my head. You still want to go to Rambali and go in a casket and, you know, do the funeral procession and everything?
Well, my family told me,
changed your mind?
my family told me don't do that. So, what can I say? Because hey, at the time, you know, let me tell you, at the time, I was thinking of how Rev-Up will get market share. So that'd be one way. That'd be one way. So your market share, look market share. Go in a casket. Lie down in a casket.
I think after what happened recently there, you changed your mind. Listen, let me tell you. Oh my word.
But seriously, I thought about that, you know. I said, what's the point in me taking the ride and I'm not enjoying it? And I heard a hearse gives the best ride in the world. That's what I heard.
But how you
I don't know
heard
what kind of
the-
shocks.
One more.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to wait. Let me enjoy the thing now.
Well, you know what happened was when you went casket shopping, that then said to you, no, not today, Pop. Change your mind on that. You don't want to be there right now.
Now, you know, I actually spoke to the guys about that, you know.
Oh my word.
Seriously.
I remember you said so.
Yeah, I actually spoke to the guy. Tell me, Mr. Paul, when you're ready.
Well, nah, Mr. Paul ain't doing that, sir.
My family asked me if I'm mad or something. So, all right, okay. Forget about it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. We're moving on to the WhatsApp platform now. Thank you so much for the chimers on Facebook. Someone says the correct timeline for U.S. midterm elections is as follows. They sent it at 10 a.m. Would you like me to read it?
That's
Or-
okay. That's okay because there's some speculation as to when.
Okay.
Some people are saying midterm elections will be held from tomorrow. Others are saying it's next year. So I really wasn't sure. I said when I'm done with my
Right.
shift, I'll go find out.
Okay. All right. So I'll continue on. Someone else chimed in and said, good morning, River family. A blessed and peaceful week to all.
You as well.
Thank you so much. Who else? Someone says, good morning, Andre Paul. I was the third person that called you on WhatsApp from Canada. The guy stayed talking with you a very long time. I kept trying but didn't get through. Alpha, your friend, stays a while too. Always check and okay.
I was
Andre will read
I was
that out.
actually checking.
He checks it.
I was checking for some reason. Maybe the calls were not coming through.
It happens. Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the calls, I guess maybe so many calls
So
are coming
many,
through.
right.
So I had somebody on the fixed line. So I was waiting for the notice on the WhatsApp platform. I didn't see it. So I said, okay, let me let the guy continue. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. It's not our fault. Someone sent a voice note. We can't listen to it now, sorry, but maybe afterward. Someone else actually says, sounding good in Soufre. That's coming from A.G. Simpson.
Oh, thank you very much, AG. Thank you.
Yes.
And by the way, AG, I was there on Saturday, so I'm returning this time to the town itself, right? I was more like on the outskirts. So the St. Isidore's Hall, that's going to be, I think, another 2 Fridays from now.
From now? Oh, nice. You're excited, right?
Oh, I'm always excited. Once he comes to Soufre, she was there. In fact,
You're always excited. That's okay.
down south way, yeah.
That's good. And he went on to say, Kina, where's your mom? Yes, my mom lives overseas, aging. And he also went on to say, Andre, I don't think video evidence is acceptable.
For?
You were referring to what happened with Tony's house?
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I don't know if that's what he
why
said.
shouldn't it be acceptable? Yeah. you have evidence. So if I have video of
You have evidence of somebody committing a crime.
Somebody
should
maybe attacking me, for example. So because the video is not going to be acceptable. No. I don't think so at
I
all.
don't think so, AG, but
Once you can recognize people, you can see faces clearly.
Yeah, clearly it should be.
That's it. Eh,
Yeah.
They convicted what's his name again, Vibes Cartel, on circumstantial.
Right, circumstantial. Right,
Yeah.
right, that too.
Yeah, because certain things that he said,
Mm-hmm.
right, while not directly admitting that he was involved,
Yes.
right, certain things he said, exchanging messages and so. Jack Yo, by the way,
Oh, as for him.
they had
though.
sentenced him because he was in Amsterdam. They had sentenced him. I don't remember what the first sentence was, but guess what? They took him back to court. Why? Because now they found additional evidence of him making threats now via some messages he was sending, where there was intent on his part to stab the promoter. Mhm.
As for
So they
Jack
gave him
yourself,
I think 8 years
8
plus.
years plus, yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever is happening with him is so sad. Some people just, I don't know. Wherever he go, drama just follows him.
No, here's a guy who thinks that it's almost like an A.G. Simpson. Let me A.G. Simpson. Sorry, O.J. Simpson.
Sorry, Age.
Who feels that they're above the law?
Yeah.
I can do as I please, right? I'm not afraid, and I can do
I
anything.
got away once. I'm
Yeah.
the man.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing. Right.
So they do not want to allow the law, even despite all its shortcomings. Because listen, what happened with my brother there? I'm not going to take the law into my own hands. That's for sure. I will be upset. I will criticize and so on. But for me to go and take the law because I know who the suspect is, to go now confront the individual. No, I will not do that. So felt like Jackie and O.J. Simpson. These fellas think I can take you on.
Well,
And you know how they convicted O.J. Simpson? Through video evidence.
Video evidence, yes.
So AG, I sure what you're talking about there, partner.
Someone says, unbelievable, Andre, with you and laughing emojis with something that have just the casket thing. Someone else said on the WhatsApp platform, hi, Rev-Up. Too many people overspend on tourists too. Many stray dogs.
That could be an
Lots
issue.
of phone and chain thieves, and no green space to have a seat around the Castries area. That's what the person thinks.
These are good points. All
That's
good
very
points.
good points.
Good
and
points.
person also sent.
And even if these are not genuine reasons as to why they're not disembarking, these are things
But
we need to
these
look
are
at
things we
to
need
make
to-
our
right,
city
I
city look
agree.
pretty.
Yeah, more appealing,
Yes.
more attractive. Yeah, for us and for tourists alike. That's very, very important. Person went on to say over-dependent on tourism. Yeah. Wendy Francisca Martin is in the house, and she says, good day, Kiki. Andre, have a blessed, lovely day and productive week.
You as well.
She went on to say, Key, when you dreams like what your mom has, as soon as you get up, you cancel it. When we sleep, we are in the spiritual world, and that's when the enemy attacks. And also rebuke them in Jesus' name. Have a great day.
Amen.
Thank you much. Someone else went on and she says, you ask a very good question about the cruise ship. Why some passengers don't come out of the cruise ship? We took a 10-day cruise out of New York City, going to 7 different islands in the Caribbean, including St. Lucia. This white woman doesn't know that we are St. Lucians. She walks up to my wife and tells us, when we get to St. Lucia, don't get out of the ship. If we want to do anything, we should do the excursion by water ferry. We never told her that we are St. Lucians because we wanted to see who else she was telling the same thing. Would you believe she went around telling multiple people, don't go ashore? Andre, on our way back to the USA, I didn't talk to that woman at all. I'm sure she was asking herself, what did she do to me?
So as I was saying earlier, we don't know what's being said
we
to
don't
those
know
people
what's
on the
being
ship,
said as well.
even by those in authority. Even those in authority, we don't know.
We don't know. Someone else wanted to say, hello, Andre. Kina and Andre. Kina, you look lovely in that dress. Only think it should have been yellow instead. Mama, well, if you want me to wear a yellow dress, buy the yellow dress, no man.
I agree.
Thank you much.
Really wear it.
But thank you. I appreciate your comment. Someone says, Vibes Cartel said on the phone, we cut him fine.
That's right.
Video evidence. Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, yeah. Someone else said
And
as well.
the thing is that, yes, he said so, but nobody saw him actually do
No,
it.
but you said what
You
you
see?
did.
No, but he can say whatever he wants.
say
We
whatever
couldn't
he
find,
wants, but still.
But that was called circumstantial evidence. So that holds in a court of law.
Yeah.
Oh yes, man. What saved Cartel's skin there is this juror, right, who was trying to bribe a fellow juror, and to say that Cartel is not guilty. And the judge should have dismissed that
Yes,
juror.
should
The
have.
judge said, I didn't dismiss him or her, I can't remember who it was, because if we had to start the case all over again, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go again, this whole thing over. So they decided to continue. Worst thing could have ever done. Worst thing.
Yeah.
So Cartel's lawyers took that to the Privy Council. The Privy Council say, nah, retrial.
Retrial.
Yeah, well, no, they left it up to them to decide. Okay, are you going to retry him or are you going to let him go?
Right.
And now the DPP said, this whole thing again, this whole thing, you have to get witnesses again, you go through this whole thing, we withdraw.
Yeah. Sometimes, we wonder. Someone else says, person who said about the stray dogs and whatnot in Castries, I 100% agree.
That could be it
For
too.
chiming in. And Luther Henry says, Andrea, when my dad and uncle died, I took a ride with them for the last time in the hearse. The ride was
Nice ride.
Oh my word! You chiming in on that too? That's true. So Luther Henry went on to say, the ride was the sweetest
See, I tell you,
and smoothest. Well, go when somebody
I
dies.
don't know what
no?
kind of shocks those new vehicles have, but boy, they give a nice ride. So I heard from multiple sources.
I wonder
Wonder what?
why it's sweetest and smoothest.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way they make the vehicle. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
And you know the other thing, you barely hear a hearse involved in a vehicular accident.
that's true
you know?
because they don't speed. They don't speed. you know the we have had ambulances in St. Lucia that got themselves involved in accidents. Huh? Yeah. I'm not saying they did it deliberately.
No,
I'm just
but
saying.
yeah, that's scary. Very scary. Wendy returned and says, oh, okay, thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So it won't manifest in the world, she says. And guess who's in the house? Your friend. He says, rev up my brother and sister from another mother. Blessed Monday to you. I'm in the house.
All right, Nikki.
Good morning, Nikki.
Hope all is well, partner.
Andre, it'll be 27 minutes now, just free before.
Uh-oh.
But have you seen that video with Marcella Johnson?
If I saw it
Oh, I love
last
that.
night, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
I smile.
Some of
It
the best
warmed-
videos I've seen. I
That's
hope
one
that
of
makes the
best
headlines.
Videos, me too.
I hope that makes
I hope
the
that
headlines.
Makes the headlines because
Yeah.
let me tell you, she didn't walk away from it. She didn't say, I'm not going. I'm going to sit in that vehicle or whatever. She joined them, and she was so happy doing that too. Free spirited individual, and I love that. And not just for her too. It's like, we hear so many people going at each other all the time. It's so toxic. And to see that, I think that's what we need in our politics. I loved it. I really did. Because it reminded me that people, no matter what side they're on,
We're
still
St.
have the
Lucians.
basic decency in them.
And we're St.
You know?
Lucians
We're
at the end of the
St. Lucians.
day.
I love,
Right?
love,
I mean,
love.
somebody can choose to be in one group. Maybe you have different groups. Sorry. Football organizations, for example, right? You have this one, that one, and you can choose to be, and then you're competing, right?
Yes.
You're competing, and
Yes,
it's a healthy competition. We don't hate each other.
I
But a lot of that hatred, I'm sorry, a lot of that hatred stems from the leaders themselves. When I say the leaders, I'm talking about people who comprise the leadership of the
leadership
party.
of either
They're the ones
party.
that speaking
Yes.
and so on. They're the ones making all those statements, those inflammatory statements, and then the people just follow suit.
And even when they do make even when you see that on social media, I'm sure you're reading it. Don't support it. Come out and call it out and say, you know what, as a people, we should not be, that's not what we should be doing to bring each other down.
And let me
You
make
know, come on,
a
man.
very important point here, since we're talking about it. And we have to close up, huh? We
Yes,
have to end it.
yes,
But I'll
yes.
make a very important point, okay? We here at Rev-Up, we conduct or we entertain or we encourage. Same thing we're talking about there, unity and so on. So we have the United Workers' Party. They have a show, they have one show, and the Labour Party, they have two shows on our station, right? Now, in both instances, unfortunately, since Tony passed, I have to be here on an afternoon now when Mary's here doing the Powell politic. Now, whether it's the United Workers' Party or the Labour Party, and I'm sitting here, Kina, if I know different, if I know maybe the facts, I cannot, in all good conscience, allow the host of the show to say something which I know may be untrue or an exaggeration, right? In all good conscience, I know the facts. If I do not know the facts, then that's different. I can stay quiet. But if I'm hearing them saying something that I know is not correct, I have a responsibility to challenge you, challenge you on that and let you know that these are not the facts. Now, the minute you see I do that, you have the spirited supporters who now accuse me of being either red or yellow right away. All because now I will not allow something, and for good reason. For good reason, number one, and when I say number one, sorry, for good reason, number one, that the host of the show must realize that people know better, okay?
Yes.
Because they will try and get away with whatever they can. That's number one. And also number two, right? I have to protect the integrity of the station.
I totally agree.
Okay?
Yeah. You're not red, you're not yellow, you're orange.
So the minute you see the minute you see I speak out and I challenge, then you have the spirited supporters. They took offense.
You have a right to do that.
They took offense.
You know, you have a right to do that, and you have to protect the integrity of the station. And if you're sitting in that seat, you are aware that, hey, something that's being said, okay, let me challenge it. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes we as individuals have to respect, someone when they've commented or something. Don't come with the attacks. Don't say that because the person says, well, this is right and this is wrong, then you're a supporting. No. We have to speak up against what is right and what is wrong. Support it when it's right, call it out and challenge it when it's wrong, and you're doing that. So kudos to you.
And Kina, the hosts of the show have no problem with me doing that, They have no problem.
Well, the host will never have a problem, but
the spirited supporters, they have the problem.
Will have a problem.
So they feel that they need to do that to protect their party. You see?
The party can protect itself.
Exactly.
You know what? And still, no matter what you're doing on social media and attacking people, at the end of the day, it's the day of election that matters.
Let me give you an example. Once upon a time, on Meet the Opposition, they were constantly saying that St. Lucia is selling passports. They were saying that all the time. Now, it could be a lack of understanding on their part as well. Maybe that's how we see it. Selling passports, that was being said all the time. It's almost like, it's a trade. We're selling passports. Until one time I heard different. And I remember on one of the shows there, they repeated that thing about we selling passports. I said, no, we're not selling passports. We are issuing passports. That's the difference. The host of the show, he had to back off. He had to back off. Because it's true. I said so when I pay for a passport in St. Lucia, the same passport that we issue to the foreigners, right? Is the state selling me a passport? No, they're not selling you a passport. So little things like that. When you know better and you know the truth, you can't remain quiet.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
All right. So we have to wrap it up. Sorry about that. So Kina, I know you have Rev Up the Homegrown coming up next.
12:30 p.m. Rev Up the Homegrown. I've also got Talking Insurance at 2 with Mirage Insurance Agency on the program as well. They're saying that dolphins are doing something different in Australia. They have a fashion sense to male dolphins that they're putting, sponges, sea sponges on their snouts to attract females.
Wow, interesting.
So that's that. And
so what is it that we're supposed to do to attract you all now, by the way?
I don't know.
We the human beings, we the men, what can we do to attract your ladies?
It depends on the woman. To each his own. Everybody.
Oh, so it's different for each person.
Different for each person.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a general rule.
Yeah, man. But you just have to be really nice and stick to being really, really nice, respectful, loving, honest.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah. So that's that. And among other things.
In other words, you have a girlfriend. Just say you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, don't hide that.
The person will make the decision on their own. If the person make the decision, what do you own your girlfriend? So when your girlfriend say, "Uvini married, Uvini." But anyways, back to regular programming.
Yes.
Don't come for me. Netflix is reportedly exploring a deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, the company behind HBO and CNN. So I'll talk on that as well. And Italy, they're saying that pets are taking over, Andre. The country now officially has more pets than babies.
Whoa, miss, yeah?
Yep.
Where's that? Where?
In Italy.
Italy. More
Yeah.
pets than babies.
Yeah. So 62, looking at millions of pets and just a few hundred babies
Thousand.
born per year. So the difference is huge. And as well, do you watch horror movies?
Oh, of course, just yesterday I was watching some horror
maybe,
stuff.
They're now saying scientists, the research coming out of late, and let me tell you, if horror movies is going to make me lose 150 calories, it be budget.
You can lose 150 pounds.
So they're saying that
don't
horror
believe
movies
that.
can actually make you burn 100 to 150 calories, roughly the same as a 30-minute walk, according to lab tests. Well, if that's the case, well, you know what? There should be a lot of people out there really,
Yeah. Papi show. that one is Papi show. But yesterday I was watching on YouTube. There was like a series there. Well, they put like a montage of all the horror presentations on America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. One of them. Yes. So that was like almost an hour long.
What?
Yeah, and
And you watched it?
Yeah, I watched the entire thing. It was scary. It was scary. It was frightening, but exciting.
Okay. Oh boy.
On America's Got Talent.
Well, I stopped watching horror movies a long time ago. It's more than 20 years now.
Yeah. The only one I haven't watched again since I first saw it was The Exorcist. I was just so scared when I left the cinema that night there. I was so scared. I've never watched that movie again. And I'm sure if I were to watch it, to me, it'd be like Papi Show. Right?
Maybe, but back in the day, them things
It
were
was scary. It was really,
scary.
really scary.
I can't deal with the nightmares and thinking that someone's gonna come for me and pull off my bed sheet. Just not for me, pap. I rather watch something funny. My pap.
All right, so folks, Kina's going to be with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. From 3 until 5, we have Zen the DJ. And then from 5 until 6, as I said earlier, it's going to be Powell Politic. As from 5 until 6 with Mary Polius. So, Kina, have yourself a great show. I want to thank our viewers on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, and also on DBS Television for taking the time to watch us and to listen to us. Thank you very much for this amazing Kina. I spoke about so many things, including what Cuba is going through, and everybody remembers me going to the funeral home.
No, that's the funniest part of the show.
Imagine that. Boy, oh boy. All right. Well, I think maybe we'll have to change the format of the show. Just talk about funny things.
Funny things to make their day. I wish I had a video camera, and I wish I was there. Some moments like that, you just want to capture it on camera. Your facial expression would be.
Okay, folks, so this has been our drive with the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor. Now, don't go away, stay with Kina, all right? Bye-bye.
In moments of loss, finding comfort and support is essential. At Rambali's Funeral Parlor, we understand that every life is unique, and honoring that life is our mission. Our dedicated team is here to guide you through every step, offering personalized services that reflect the cherished memories of your loved one. From traditional funerals to modern celebrations of life, we provide a range of options tailored to your family's wishes. Whether it's a simple service or an elaborate tribute, we ensure every detail is handled with care. Let us help you create a meaningful farewell, honoring the legacy of your loved one. To learn more about our services, call 758-452-2021 Castries, 758-454-9239 Viewfort. Visit us at www.ramballysfuneral.com. Rambali's Funeral Parlor, where memories are cherished and love is everlasting.
Tous les jours, femme set nisi kabay tout sa yo pe pou fami yo, komin yo, epi pou achieve wèv yo. Magwe sa,